what was that business model that you had in mind?
See, my business model was very simple. I was very focused on that. One thing was my passion towards the small entrepreneurs, that they should get more and more of exposure. And secondly, of course, because I was working for a very long time now, so I wanted some cash flow to come to my side. So marketing somehow has a very fine line with sales, because whatever you do in marketing will convert into sales. Whatever you do in sales will convert into your marketing. Similarly is the visibility. What we do with events is providing you a bigger platform to be visible. So for me, branding starts from day one, when you're sitting with your team and you're deciding that, okay, this is the logo, this is the color, this is the theme.
For the women who are watching this now, who are at that stage of life where they took a break, the kids are on their own, they're ready now, what's your advice for them?
My advice would be, Ja Simran, ji le zindagi.
With Skillopedia, when you decided that, okay, you're gonna, make it a business, because why not just, do it for yourself, right? And start your business. What was in your mind, like, in terms of the business model? Because when it comes to the business model, right, there are two key things, right? Who's your client or customer? What are you going to give them? And how are they going to pay you for that? Like, and what's the revenue stream?
Right.
So what was that business model that you had in mind?
See, my business model was very simple. I was very focused on that. One thing was my passion towards the small entrepreneurs, that they should get more and more of exposure. And secondly, of course, because I was working for a very long time now, so I wanted some cash flow to come to my side, so that I don't have, because I cannot spend from my pocket all the time. So from there we started that, we started doing the exhibitions, which was a greater exposure to both the community and to the larger vendors. Because even for the bigger brands, they want to get connected with the community so that more of their products could sell. Any brand, they come up with a lot of services, but those services should also be exposed to the community. So when 50,000 people see that ad, or they see that this new, maybe a juice, or maybe a new household product, or maybe a new property line has come up, so then their interest goes there. And that's how we encash from both the ends. So that's where the small vendor pays a small price to have a kind of a stall or an exhibition. And plus the bigger vendor gets a lot of visibility around our events. And so as marketing, is all about being visible.
Yeah.
So that is where, and we, truly believe in a philosophy of VAC, which is visibility, which is accountability, and which is credibility. Yeah. So, when you are visible, then only you become a leader or an authority in that place.
Yeah.
And with that authority comes a lot of credibility. And for credibility, you need a lot of people. That is what Skillopedia combines and gives it to you.
That's the VAC philosophy.
Yes.
Brilliant. So under Skillopedia, you have PR, and you have marketing, branding, and events, like the four, kind of the four pillars. Now, are these, like, explain to me as a child, as I think that I have no knowledge at all about this. Are these different from each other? Are they part of the same vehicle, four wheels, or how are these connected, or how are they different?
When you launch a brand in the market, whether you are a small marketer, or maybe you are a Tanishq or a Titan or your Tata in the market, these all things come with a very fine line. So marketing somehow has a very fine line with sales, because whatever you do in marketing will convert into sales. Whatever you do in sales will convert into your marketing. Similarly is the visibility. What we do with events is providing you a bigger platform to be visible. So even if you're putting a lot of money in social media, which is very expensive and which most of the people cannot afford, being small entrepreneurs, there you get an advantage that when you're coming for an event, you're immediately getting exposed to 500 to 1,000 people. Right? So at least you have got registered to their mind. Your data collection happens. If you are smart enough, you can actually filter that data, go back to them for after sales, or upsell your brand, which is already there. Create your own list or your own pipeline of people whom you want to connect with. And it is not like that, you're going to everyone and meeting, because meeting 500 people means you have almost given 6 months to it.
Yeah.
No more required. Just go to one event which is useful and which gets connected to your audience. From there, you already get a database of 500 people, out of which even 10% convert, which is 50. And out of which even 5 buy. So you've already got 5 new customers. And that is what the biggest of the brands are planning in the biggest of the rooms, marketing rooms of theirs, hiring the best of the talent. Yeah. So that is what you get with events. That is what you get with our marketing strategy. So we tell you exactly what, when, and where to do. So that's a WWW which we do for them.
Okay.
So we sit with them, we understand their requirement, we take them to, if it's a bigger brand, we take them to the consumers. If it's a smaller brand, we take them to the bigger brands, and we get all this connectivity done on a single platform called Skillopedia.
Brilliant. And how is PR different from marketing? Just like maybe it could be a stupid question, but I think it's important to understand.
It's a very interesting story. And in fact, today on my way, I was just discussing PR for a brand which we are taking care of. So PR is basically your story. Because even if you think about how Pepsi became famous or how Coca-Cola became famous was, if you have seen most of the US ads, they show how the kids are being shown that, from, how at an early stage they can get Coke or drinks as their food. That's why they have a lot of obesity over there. Yeah. But this is only a story that they develop because the mother was drinking Coke, so the child is drinking Coke, and it has become a part of the family breakfast culture in the morning. Yeah. So if you see most of the US families, they don't start with their breakfast without a Coke or without a drink. The kids are addicted to it. But because there is a storyline, people connect to it. People want to have it because, as a tribute to your mom or as a tribute to what your family was doing earlier, you're doing it right now with your kids. But if you see, this connectivity and the storytelling plays a very important role in connecting with your audience. So I'm talking about Skillopedia. I'm showing my story from an ordinary employee to an employer right now. So this connection of the story brings in the entire PR around you. And marketing is again the next level, that how you are getting how you're approaching the market, your client, how you getting connected to the customer. So of course they are internet with each other. Connected, so a good story would get you a good marketing advantage over the others.
Yeah. And let's talk about branding a little bit, because a lot of people confuse branding. I mean, there is a lot in branding, right? I mean, there is the top of mind and all those terms that are right. But people confuse branding with just like, if I want to do branding, I can just run a few ads and my branding is done. There is more to branding. Tell us about what kind of mistakes that small businesses do when it comes to branding.
For me, branding is selecting your niche.
Okay.
The moment you do that, I mean, when you're putting up even, when you start a business, the first thing is to put up your logo. With that logo, you write a connecting line. Right? With Skillopedia, now I write 360 degrees marketing and events partners. Why? Because that is my branding. That is my logo. That the first thing when people look at it, they should be crystal clear about what I'm about to do. So for me, branding starts from day one when you're sitting with your team and you're deciding that, okay, this is the logo, this is the color, this is the theme. So literally, we were just planning an event last week for a big client. Okay. And I was so fantasized by the way she said, that Monica, I want a purple carpet in my event. Because that goes with my branding. So that's your passion, that's your connectivity with your brand that comes in. So the moment you put a color to it, the moment you put some, some lines, follow-up lines with it, taglines with it, you are clear that this is my passion. And for me, branding happens every day when I get up in the morning. I think, what else am I doing today for my brand? So all these small things, I think, add up to your whole portfolio, which you present to your customer when you go, or when your customer is seeing you in the market or in the ads or whatever you are putting to reach or to communicate with your customer.
Yeah. So to have, for branding, the most important thing is to have that clarity in your mind first, as to what is it that you want to be seen as, right?
Yeah. Like what do you want? How do you want your customer to see you?
Yeah.
Because customer will have 10 demands, but what is the demand that you can add value to? So that I think gives you a lot of clarity about what kind of branding you want. When you speak about your brand, so you have to be clear that what is the exact offering and how is it different from others? Are you adding any value to your customer, or is it just another brand which will exist in the market?
You must have worked with, like, like you say, you work with small businesses, medium businesses, large businesses, and you connect to them. When you look at the new entrepreneurs, right? The single person solopreneurs or 2-3 people team, and the ones who have just started now. Like, what kind of mistakes are people doing when it comes to these things, marketing, branding, and what should people be aware of? Like some common things that you've seen that, you can tell people that, these are some things that people can avoid.
Sachin, I always feel, when you put your heart and soul into something, when you start that entrepreneurship journey, nothing is wrong. It's always an experience. It's never a mistake. Even if you have put a wrong color and you change the color after 3 months, I think it is good because you realized, that this color matches with your vision more. Yeah. So I won't call it a mistake. I would call it a step up and more passion towards your brand. So for any entrepreneur who's, getting out of their comfort zone, moving out to do something new, and most of the people I see nowadays, they're leaving their jobs and they're coming into entrepreneurship. So that's a big step where you're moving from such a safe zone to such an, I would say, vulnerable position, and you're putting yourself in so much of danger. And most of the entrepreneurs are generally 40, 45 plus, after you are settled in your jobs, and one fine day that kick comes to you, that no, I want to do something of my own. And I've seen this kick in all, nowadays I've seen 90% of the people sitting at very high positions in the companies, they have the kick. So either they are moving towards that zone or they are already moved. They've already left their jobs and, decided that, okay, I've done this thing, enough for me. Now I'm moving into my own company. Yeah. And the only thing that I feel we should continue is the passion and the persistence. For me, these 2 P's, if we are clear with, then there's no looking back. Yeah.
Passion and persistence.
Yes. For me, persistency works a lot. That, that discipline has to come. Because when you become an entrepreneur, there would be a lot of things that you hate doing in your life. You hate writing. You hate, coming at 8 o'clock. You hate doing those small things, whether it is just giving an invoice to your customer or just getting in touch with your customer or just giving a cold call to your customer and acting as if you are the EA of your company. So all those dirty jobs when you're doing accounting, there's so many things that you have to do as an entrepreneur. True. It's no more of a job, that people will come, give you a cup of coffee and say, madam, please, things are lying around. So no more of that. When you're an entrepreneur, you have
it's actually... a completely different world.
It's a very uncomfortable role.
Very uncomfortable, very unpredictable.
Yeah. Right? And every morning you get up, you have to show the same discipline. You have to show the same power to your people around. You cannot, in front of your employees, you cannot fall back and say that, okay, I'm not here, do whatever you want to do. So that's what I feel, it takes a lot of courage, especially for the women, to come out of that comfort zone. And because with your own things, you are out and sometimes 24/7, sometimes, leaving your kids behind, moving out of your comfort zone, moving out on weekends, which are generally, you get a lot of weekends in Dubai in corporate jobs, which we never used to get in India. So I think definitely there is persistency which should keep you on, and your discipline.
Discipline is important, right?
Very important.
And you mentioned women entrepreneurs, right? Like, when there are a lot of women who want to start, and there is a pattern that I want to share with you, like that. This is what I have observed in, in the interviews that I have done so far, and the people that
Why are you watching more of women entrepreneurs? There's so many men entrepreneurs.
No,
time to roast.
No. This is that roasting the host. So there is the pattern that I've seen is that there is a certain point, like a woman, makes that family sacrifice at the motherhood break, or that, right. She takes that break.
The sabbaticals and all.
Sabbaticals. When she comes back after that, that is the point where I see a lot of women get into entrepreneurship because that's an opportunity there. right? Do you see that as an opportunity, or is that like because when people, like when women take, let's say 2-3 years or 5 years break, have the once the children grow up, the younger one is like 5 years old and is
and
able
you start
to
you
start thinking, right?
yeah.
Like, okay, what am I doing with my life? I need to get back, right?
Exactly.
And at that point, for the women who are watching this now, who are at that stage of life where they took a break, now the kids have just gone into kindergarten, and they're like ready to, the kids are on their own, they're ready now. What's your advice for them?
My advice would be, Ja Simran, ji le zindagi.
Yes, this is because, the time to get out.
It's being rightly said nowadays that 40s is a new 20s. Because I think most of the women, counting myself, we start the same journey. I mean, from the time which we are, if you're a 40s woman, so probably you would be very clear about, that 23 years were with the parents, and it was a very secured environment that you live in. You're not allowed to, most of the people, you're not allowed to, spread wings so much. After that, you get married. So first 5 years goes into kids, meeting the new family, setting up the right expectations on both sides. And once both your kids cross that age of 5 years and 10 years, that's a time when you actually get some time for yourself and you start thinking, what is your passion?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? And that too only if your husband and your family is supportive. Most of the women, I think, still are undergoing a lot of mental health issues because you cannot do what you want. So out of that, I mean, I think nowadays 40 to 45% women have started moving out and, okay, this is done. Now I need to think about myself. And where your husband kicks in, your family kicks in, and they support you. That, okay, it's okay. It's not about money. It's about following your passion.
Yeah.
Continuing with something which will now give you a kick for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're living the same depression life where, you go to your office, you do your duties, responsibilities there, you come back to your house. Again, you have, a lot of things to do, your children's homework, how they're going, husband coming back, dinner, and then sleep after Netflix. So to break that momentum, it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of courage to come forward like that.
And I think there is a lot of potential.
Yes.
And that potential has to come out when, I mean, you have to respect that, you have some talents, right? You have this is really my 2 cents on this one, that, every woman, every friend, every sister, every mother who's watching this here, right? You have certain talents, you have certain things, right? You have to respect that and work towards improving that, and then let the world benefit from that. Coming to the men now, you said, right, why am I not talking about men? There is a pattern that I've noticed, and I want your take on that. This what people call the midlife crisis, right? You said 40s is the new 20s, and you get to this age where you feel like, yaar, आधी जिंदगी तो मैंने ये करने में गुजार दिया. What legacy am I leaving behind?
Right.
And this is where that, the urge of entrepreneurship kicks in. Right. And you're already at a high position in your job and everything. And then people are turning towards entrepreneurship now.
Right. And your expenses are growing at that time. Being a man, I think your kids are growing up, the unis are coming up, the extracurricular classes are coming up, kids are becoming more demanding as they were earlier.
You become an ATM machine for the kid and all that. And so how does, let me put a very blunt question here. How does a man jump off that running train and become an entrepreneur when so many responsibilities are there?
A man can only jump off this train, where he's moving from such a secured, confident life, if he has invested very well in the past years, if he has made that entire planning. Surprisingly, I have certain friends who are very young, 35 years, and they not even 35 years, 30 years. And he has a retirement plan for 35.
Wow.
I was like, man, respect. So, nowadays the generation is very different from us. They're not bothered about making a big house or having a big car. They're more bothered about how their life can become happy, how they can be more powerful in terms of spending good time for themselves.
They're experience driven.
Yes, they're experience driven. They want to enjoy things in life, because for us, I mean, for people from our generation, I think we were more into saving modes.
Yeah.
And this is something I really respect for one nationality. I met a lot of Philippines people over here. And what developed a lot of respect for them was these were so happy people. So happy.
I love Philippines.
I swear. I mean,
you see them, you always see a group of Filipinos. You'll always hear like big laughter and
you'll always find them with a group of people.
Yeah.
You'll always find them happy, whether they are earning 3K or whether they're earning 30K. It's not like earlier times that, they are not into bigger jobs. They're into very high profile jobs, but still they're very happy at heart, very welcoming. Always, I mean, so grateful for whatever they have. I always feel as an individual that whosoever I talk to, there's so much to take and there's so much to give.
Yeah.
And still we are always surrounded. I mean, Dubai, definitely I feel, we're always surrounded by bling friends, fake friends. But if you see, I mean, there's a lot more to connect.
Yeah.
In terms of, knowing each other, knowing different nationalities that are here. For me, it was a very good experience because for me, I moved for the first time from India to a different country. I mean, traveling is, I think, something different. When you're staying somewhere where, there are more than 19 nationalities, it was very overwhelming for me. I'm really enjoying this journey.
Yeah. So people who are watching this and who want to be part of Skillopedia, want to be part of this 50,000 member net community, what's the best way that people can reach out or be a part of this?
Sachin will share with you our Instagram, our Facebook, and our community QR codes. So you can just click with your iPhones or your smartphones and join the community. Awesome. Or you can just give me a call at 056-960-4623.
Really? You want to give out your number?
I'm okay.
Oh my God. Okay, great. When you look back now, Monica, at your journey from that girl who used to, even for going to school, Mamu and dad used to come and drop you to school or college, to the entrepreneur that you've become now, and the connector, the people connected that you've become. Who or what do you want to give the credit to for your success?
My dad. Definitely my dad, yeah. He appreciates me a lot. And then he's the first one to say, कि तेरे से ज़्यादा खराब लड़की नहीं देखी मैंने. So
the biggest critic also.
Biggest critic of mine, yeah. Yes.
I hope he watches this, and he'll be so proud to.
He watches everything.
Oh, nice.
He follows my Facebook account, my Instagram, my bank accounts, everything. Very passionate.
Bank account also.
Yes, that also he wants to make sure now that, if you're not earning, why are you doing this? So, but that's a good motivation because I was actually heading like, something with passion. But ultimately, you need to have, you need to show growth in your company. That also gives you a kick. That's something new that, I have started aspiring from the last 2 years. And for me, I'm really blessed that universe gives me what I want. So, I really feel grateful that, whatever I think I'm able to achieve.
Yeah.
It's just like, my thinking pattern has to be there. And I start working backwards to it. So I'm very focused on that way. And definitely last year, like a lot of other things have also happened. So we have new people people who have joined us. Harsha joined us as a partner, and it was really, the mindset completely changed. Then I also started doing certain business coaching for myself.
Okay.
Because sometimes you feel you know everything, but sometimes when you see why people who don't look like me are going farther than me, that competition always makes you move forward. And
you always want to learn something.
Yeah, and this is good. I always say competition is good. Jealousy is good because it it makes you move forward. Otherwise, you say now that when you see that ECG machine or something, the life goes like this. So if it is not working, you are dead. Absolutely. So if you don't have those emotions of jealousy, emotion of motivation, self-talk, embarrassment, being emotional at times, so you're dead, man.
That's true. Those ups and downs are, and I wish, like, all those that you said, you have certain dreams and you want to keep chasing your dreams, and I wish that all those come true. One last question as we wrap up here. How was your experience being on the Be Your Own Boss podcast?
I was waiting for it, guys. sorry.
Now she'll roast the host.
Now my time to roast the host. सचिन, आप बताइए, आपको कैसा लग रहा है मेरे साथ में बैठकर?
I'm happy that ये खत्म हो रहा है अभी. No, I'm kidding. It was fantastic, and I loved the conversation. It flew like a river. It just flew. It's so easy. It was.
No, it's always.
You tell me how was. Yeah,
it was really wonderful, Sachin, and I was I was asking you all the way that are there any questions to be prepared? But this was so good, and it was just like water. It was flowing everywhere, and that connection, that chemistry that we have for the last 2-3 years where we met. I think that could be seen in the podcast very clearly. And it's always good, sometimes you want to talk about things and get more clarity on what you're doing. Yeah. And it's really good to have some appreciation from your friends. And I was really looking forward to it, Sachin, as much as you were. I'm really happy and honored to be here.
Thank you so much. And thank you for coming. It was such an honor to have you here on the show, Monica. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was Monica Bahel Arya, the founder of Skillopedia. And you've been watching and listening to Be Your Own Boss.